So let's get the call kicked off. So first off, this is Sal Leto. I'm your Chief Network Officer with Auvoria Prime. This is our first opportunity that we've had to introduce our new Director of Compliance, Mariska van de Langenberg. Like, as I mentioned moments ago, if you were on here earlier, I've been working with her just over a year's time, and I'm blown away at her commitment to integrity and her commitment to compliance. I believe that she's the perfectly experienced person for the department that she is heading up. She's already working extremely hard. What we're going to do here, there's a twofold part to this presentation here. First, she's going to go through general compliance rules on how to conduct ourselves and things that we need to keep at the top of our mind. And then we're going to let her share her screen and show you live on her own computer what it looks like to go to the Facebook results groups, where you can access certain resources for compliance, and how to operate yourself compliantly out there when it comes to sharing results, because we know that this is going to be an ever-growing activity. So without any further ado, Mariska, let's do a sound check. Go ahead and speak, please.
Yes, can you hear me loud and clear?
Perfect, you're coming in clearly. I'm going to mute myself. I'll chime in if I see room, but Go ahead and take it away. Thank you so much for, number one, taking on this leadership role in the capacity of leading this department, and also for being willing to jump on here to give us a live training.
Thanks, Al. It's exciting to be part of this because we are starting something really great here together. But in order to build this to a worldwide enterprise, to an empire maybe even, we need to all understand what is required to share this opportunity, to share our products in a compliant way. So let's get started. Compliance is more than just ensuring that we act within laws and regulations. Within Auvoria Prime, we also want to comply with our core values. And by complying with our core values, we are developing a desired culture, a culture in which integrity, in which kindness, in which sharing, in which cooperation is just as a second nature. And I think that's really important and will make us stand out. Now let's start with the situation that most of us will have to deal with. COVID-19, coronavirus, and the FTC. Because last week, the FTC has sent out letters to 9 companies to stop with their marketing because they are using the situation right now to market their products. And within Auvoria Prime, we think it's essential that we always strive to ethical marketing. Let's dare to do it right. I think that's a mantra within this company that we all should embrace. And by marketing ethically, let's stay away from using hashtags COVID-19, hashtag coronavirus. We don't need that. And if we would use those hashtags, we will get the eyes of the FTC on our company already in the very early phase, because they have a special team that are just focusing on marketing with COVID-19 and coronavirus. Another very large network marketing company, one that very often is used as an example to show how old network marketing already is, sent out a warning to all of their IBOs, their affiliates, saying it is not allowed to use these hashtags. It is not even allowed to use them in combination with offering the opportunity. And frankly, if you want to do it ethically, you can do it in a different way. Just by saying, well, now that we all spend more time at home and we see situations where loads of people are losing their job, maybe it's time to consider a different kind of income stream. So if you're open to that, let's have a coffee, let's have a conversation. Try to be more generic instead of focusing on this virus. I think that's very important for us all to be aware of. So let's not do it. Now, any video that you would want to share publicly must be submitted for approval to this email address, compliance@auvoriaprime.com. Right now, Any video that is submitted is reviewed within 24 hours. I cannot promise that that will remain the case if you all start to submit all your videos, but it will be very swift. We had a training on how to become a presenter earlier, and I had a short conversation with Sal afterwards, because during that training, people were asking, can we record our own presentation? And he said, yeah, just submit it to compliance. That is a little different. Yes, you are free to record your own presentation if that's in another language, because then the translation slides have already been approved by me. And then the company will upload your translated presentation, if you are a certified presenter, to the Vimeo or YouTube of the company. And the reason for that is that way the company always has full control that the information out there is up to date. Because we are a young company and we develop and we will add new products. And every time a new product is added, the slides will change a little. And then you need to have new recordings. And by keeping it centralized, anyone can use those videos to send to their contacts, to their prospects, or even to use into the funnels that they are building. But the content will always be safeguarded and up to date. So I think that's very important. And if you would like to submit subtitles, that's fine too. Just send them to us and we can add them to those videos. The only place where training results can be shared is in designated Facebook groups. Designated Facebook groups where only Auvoria Prime is shared, and active affiliates are group admins. There really is nowhere else. There's another requirement, and that's in those groups. I need to be in them, and I need to be an admin. I will not interfere with any admin duties, but I need to have a good visual on who the admins and moderators are, and if everything that's being shared actually is compliant with our policies and procedures. But even in those designated Facebook groups, a disclaimer must be on the image, and a specific full disclaimer is to be added to the text. What is very important is that right now we have 2 images to put on your Alexander or Einstein image, but we will add more of those. Why? Because it's very important by the regulators that we have specific disclaimers for a demo account and a specific disclaimer for a live account. In the previous conversation a quick conversation that I had with Sal, I've suggested to ensure that all disclaimers will be made available in your back offices as well. The stickers that we have right now for on your images are in the company's Facebook group, and I will show you a bit later on where to find those. But it's always both full text, so even if you are posting your image, in the text that goes with the image, there has to be a disclaimer in text that is more detailed than the sticker on the image. And only in face-to-face meetings, so where you really meet belly to belly or online in a one-on-one, that's where you can share your own results. But even if you do that, always show and read a full disclaimer. That really is something that has to become second nature. Don't think, oh, but I've known this individual for 2 years already. I don't need to do that. You need to do that always. It's not just protection of the company, it's also protection for yourself. Because that way you have been compliant all the way. And it's really important. Who is your friend today doesn't necessarily have to be that 2 years from now. And if they have a recording of that one-on-one that you did together, you really could get in big trouble. So we want to protect you as well. Every Zoom or video that you are creating that talks about trading, that talks about Auvoria Prime, or talks about Forex, must show a full disclaimer at the start of the video. And it not just has to be shown, but you have to read it out loud. It's a visual and it's audio, it's audible, and that's to make sure that all the attendees really have seen and heard the disclaimer. Then move on to whatever content it is that you would like to share. These Zooms and videos also have to be submitted for approval first before you make them public on any platform. This is that disclaimer that should be at the start of a video. Foreign exchange trading and or use of trading software carries a high level of risk that may not be suitable for all investors. Leverage creates additional risk and loss exposure. Before you decide to trade or engage with these, carefully consider your investment objectives, experience level, and risk tolerance. You could lose some or all of your initial investment. Do not invest money that you cannot afford to lose. Risk capital is money that can be lost without jeopardizing one's financial security or lifestyle. Educate yourself on the risks associated with foreign exchange trading and seek advice from an independent financial or tax advisor if you have any questions. This meeting or video or training is by independent affiliates and for educational or informational purposes only, and the views and statements made are not a representation of Auvoria Prime's opinions. We are not licensed financial advisors. This is not a solicitation to invest. It's really essential that you always use this. Don't think like, yeah, people know this, because every previous training I have read this as well. Read it every single time. It's really, really important. Now, it's also good to mention that if you are violating our policies and procedures, that we have a protocol. The first violation means that you get a warning and you need to remove or edit your post. Your second violation gets you into a 2-week suspension without pay. And it doesn't matter whether you are brand new or you are already a top earner, that 2-week suspension without pay is for everyone. And the third violation, and we really hope it will never get to this, but it will get your account terminated. It's something that we are not happy to do, but we will not hesitate to do it, because we have to be able to show to any regulator that if violations take place, that we take action, that we do not accept or tolerate them. It's very important that we document, that we archive, and we are able to share that to them, so they can see that we have taken appropriate actions. Well, that concludes this little PowerPoint cell. So let me go then to Facebook and show our, busy in the messenger, our company results group. It's Auvoria Prime product testimonials. That is also to be found in the name on top of the screen in the URL. If you look for Auvoria Prime product testimonials, this group will show up. In the announcement sections on top of the group, you will see the rules for posting. And let me show all of the announcements.
And real quick, Mariska,
yep.
You could just, do you have a way of showing the link that was created where people can click to join the Facebook group?
Yep.
I remember that was like a short link that was created.
Yeah, I think this is it. And I will put that in, can I put it in the chat here? I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. You could do that as well. And I'll also search in the history of our announcements as well. I know we sent it out.
I cannot find my Zoom anymore. I'm so handy in that.
No problem. I'll put it in there for everyone.
Ah, here it is. I found it. I just quickly stopped sharing. Let me go back to my screen share, because that's where you can see in those announcements, the rules for posting are there. The disclaimers as are there right now, those will be expanded. There will be 4 in total. Demo for Einstein, live for Einstein, demo for Alexander, live for Alexander. So those will be there, and they also will be in your back office together with the disclaimer that I just showed and read out loud. I think that's very important. One thing else that I would like to comment, Some people really feel like I need to have my own group for results, but that way you are not maximizing the impact of your prospects seeing results of dozens, hundreds, and over time, thousands of people that are being shared in larger communities. This specifically is a group where we are very strict. You will not risk people who are new on board just blindly copying settings from someone else, because settings are not being shared here. People are just sharing if they're using defaults or have deviated from it. So make use of what's already there. And trust me, the more groups you are an admin of, the busier you get. The busier you get on Facebook, the less time you will have to spend on your income producing activities. It's that simple. Did I forget anything, Sal?
No, I think that that's a very good overview of compliance. I would like to say, one of the things I was going to ask you, Mariska, is, through the last year, you've shared a lot of wisdom with me on the importance of compliance in general.
Yeah.
And I wanted to see if you could just take a couple moments with us now that we have you live. I know it's not all the time we have you live. If you could just talk about the overall importance of how compliance is related to the company's long-term sustainability.
Oh, yes. Regulators have their search engines. Like I have my own search engines right now on Auvoria Prime. They are just searching the web for anything that is non-compliant. If I see any marketer making a statement where they are flagging their commissions, where they are flagging trading results, I already know, wow, if your company allows this won't last long. And in general, you can say after just 12, 18 months, that company is gone. It's gone. Whether it's being shut down by a regulator or a justice department, or it just stopped paying because then the results are so insane that people need that in order to get other people who are desperately seeking money are coming on board. The minute that you step away from flashing your results, and honestly, if you think that that is what people want to see, you have something to work on within your own money mindset. Because people want to be part of something where they feel it's safe to grow with. And most people are being fooled already once or more in trusting someone into something that didn't last. A lot of people have lost a lot of money. And I've spoken over the last couple of years with people. If I would add up all the money, we're talking about millions. Millions that have been lost in unsustainable opportunities. So if you put your heart and soul in building a business here, in working with your money, in learning a skill in how to trade, learning how to network properly, you want that to last. Because we are all aiming to get residual income. Residual means that at a point in time, you stop working for it and the money keeps coming. There is nothing residual in an income that will stop within 2 or 3 years because the company is gone, because a regulator has shut it down. So the awareness of not sharing your results, how tempting it may be, and be aware, even if you put it on a Facebook or an Instagram story, we have an all-seeing eye within compliance here. You won't get away with it. You will get your first and your second violation, and if necessary, the third one as well. Because we need to protect all the energy, the blood, sweat, and tears that people are putting in building their business, in learning a skill. You don't want to even imagine what it would mean to all of them if that would disappear. Because one or two or a handful think that compliance doesn't apply to them. It's really protection of the future of a lot of people and a lot of good that we can do for this world once we have reached that status that we have time freedom. So that's why I feel very, very strong about compliance, about sustainability within a company. And I just love what I have learned from talking with Josh, with you, in how you are thinking long term. How to make sure that Commission monies are always protected, that's secured, that's separated from business operational expenses. Little things that are so important. And we all have heard spoken about Josh. He is a genius. He's a genius in numbers, but he also is a clear demonstration of high ethics. So yeah, I didn't have to think that long when I was asked if I would want to take on this role. But I do see it as my responsibility for each and every one of you to understand why compliance is this important, that it's not just to be a pain in your neck, but it's there to help you, to protect you, and the income that you're building, to make sure that that will last for a long time.
Awesome. And the last thing, Mariska, I know whoops, hold on one second, sorry. And then we have an echo here. Is if someone chooses to participate in the affiliate opportunity to make money on the compensation plan, can you just touch on the importance of sharing the proper disclaimers when talking about your income or in rank achievement? Since I know on social media, we're about to see a lot of public recognition all over Auvoria Prime's channels related to that.
Yes, that's also very important, because it's not just trading, it's also when you are mentioning your earnings on commissions, there always has to be a disclaimer that your income is not necessarily indicative for what someone else will do, because it's based on your work ethics, on your skill level, on the time that you're putting in, on the quality of people that you bring in. In fact, within the first couple of videos that you have seen in Auvoria Prime University, Daisy has done a really, really good video about income claims. That's even if you would achieve a ranking that you're making already, $3,000 a month. If you are going to share that, it has to be in a way like, yep, I have reached this, but you probably won't. It's almost that kind of message that people need to be aware that your income really isn't their income. And if we go back to the beginning of the PowerPoint, ethical marketing, don't go there. And it even is a fact that if you at one point in time would say, you know, look around me, I own all of this, and this is because of Auvoria Prime, that's an income statement. You cannot do that. There is so much to it. If you would say, you know what, I'm really grateful that Auvoria Prime became part of my life, because I would never have thought that I could really live a life that I love prior to Auvoria Prime. That's a fair statement. There is nothing about income there. So every time that you put something out there, look at it through the eyes of a regulator. Could this be perceived as an income claim? Could anyone attach an amount to it? If that's the case, it's an income statement. And then you need to have a disclaimer. And we'll make sure that that disclaimer will also be available in your back office, because it's essential, the awareness of that. And you know, if you are an affiliate, if you are a leader, you're introducing other people who choose to become an affiliate as well, it's also your responsibility to watch how they are promoting, watch how they are communicating about the opportunity, about the products. It's not just like, oh yeah, I'm not going to say anything, we have a compliance department. Because if that's the case, it will be really tough. It is something that we need to do together. So every one of you who is submitting footage to compliance through the email, I really want to thank you, because that is helping to protect us all. So it's not like, oh, wow, I'm just someone who is going to tell the teacher that everything is wrong. No, it's ensuring that we all can benefit from the suite of products and services of this wonderful company for a very long time. I think that covers it pretty much so. And within time.
Yes, absolutely. For those of you that are using the chat, if you can please put the number 1 If you want to see more training on compliance, and if you're glad that Auvoria Prime is taking a strong stance on the compliance topic to make sure that your paycheck is protected and that your trading opportunity is protected. It's so important to do things with integrity and always keeping the long term in mind. Mariska, you've been working so hard. I'm so thankful you set some time aside to come out here with us live. For those of you on here, this is being recorded. We will make sure that the recording goes out to everyone. And I've answered almost all the questions. We will continue to answer questions after this, as well as put a lot of the links in the back office that you guys have asked about. So Mariska, thank you.
There's one question that I still see. Is it compliant to make a step-by-step setup PDF guide with pictures for our customers? Submit it first. Submit it first to us so we can approve it. So anything that you create that you want to use for new customers, it needs to be approved first. And then I will just give feedback. I had a PDF just, I think yesterday, and I gave feedback on that. Some changes had to be made, and then it would be fine. So we're not here to make your life tough. We're just making sure that life will remain smooth sailing for each and every one of us.
Absolutely agreed. The most important part. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you again. We will do more trainings. I could see from the questions here, we have some follow-up work to do. We'll create videos, tutorials. We will make sure you have every resource you need to be compliant. So thank you for taking this serious. For those of you that joined us today, that shows a level of responsibility for yourself that you take time to get on this type of training. And Mariska, thank you again so much.
You all are appreciated. Thank you.